My name is the villain, Marty Scurll,
I am Zack Sabre Jr. and I'm proudly representing England
in the Pro Wrestling World Cup. Obviously, I know a thing or two about winning tournaments. Last year, PWG Battle of Los Angeles. So the World Cup, there's a lot of guys. This is a bigger tournament, but I think if anyone can do it, it's the villain Marty Scurll.
I've done my best to represent and showcase modern British wrestling in the best light, and I think this is a very ambitious and exciting project. Only right that I will kind of make the finals and attempt to add this to my accolades.
Zack he's a brother to me, so I know him probably better than anyone, but at the same time he knows me very well as well. I go in the ring and I see what Zack's going to do, and then from there I can kind of get a game plan and I can kind of strategize from there once the bell rings.
Double-edged sword, isn't it? You know each other so well, so obviously he knows me, but I think anytime you're in with someone that you're close with, actually you push each other harder, so I think it always brings the best out in my performance.
And I think if I can get past Zack Sabre Jr., then I can go the whole way and win the whole tournament.
All these championships and all these tournament wins now, I think everyone's always disappointed when I don't win, so I think if I just start saying I'm going to lose, I'm just going to go out straight away in the first round. Yeah, and then hopefully people will be pleasantly surprised.
Folks, let's take a look at the tail of the tape for one of the most anticipated first round matchups in the World Cup of 2017. Of course, it'll be Marty Scurll versus Zack Sabre Jr. And I can't think of two more evenly matched wrestlers, Dave.
Yeah, not only evenly matched, Matt, but these two know each other so very, very well. They have been rivals and tag partners all around the world. This should be great. Marty Scurll had been threatening to break into the upper echelons of the wrestling world for a very long time. Matt, he did that in 2016, winning the Battle of Los Angeles over at Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, and 2017 could see Marty Scurll raise to even greater heights.
Well, if he's going to do it, a victory over Zack Sabre Jr. in the first round of the Pro Wrestling World Cup English qualifiers would be a fantastic way to do it.
Scurll, as I said, knows Sabre Jr. so very, very well. These two, part of the tag team, the Leaders of the New School, which formed in 2009. They've also battled for championships, not just in PWG, but in Rev Pro here in England, and so many other promotions as well. Scurll and Sabre Jr. could not be more evenly matched. This one is a coin toss.
Yeah, I expect a good technical wrestling match, and that's right up my alley.
He is the technical wizard, and you see, he is literally covered in gold. Zack Sabre Jr. may just be the best professional wrestler currently on this planet.
Yeah, and if you're a fan of names like Dean Malenko, Johnny Saint, William Regal, Eddie Guerrero, Jack and Jerry Briscoe, if you like good, pure wrestling, then chances are you're a Zack Sabre Jr. fan.
wearing the Pro Wrestling Guerrilla Championship.
Singles bout set for one fall. This is the first round qualifier in the Pro Wrestling World Cup. Introducing first to my right, hailing from Cambridge and weighing tonight at 189 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the ROH Television Champion, the Villain, Marty Scurll!
Mixed reception for Scurll.
Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent is wrestling out of the Isle of Sheppey, weighing tonight at 180 pounds. He is the current Rev Pro Heavyweight Champion, the PWG World Champion, and the Evolve Champion. There is only one, Zack Sabre Jr.
Well, before the ring announcement started, I was going to list the belts that Sabre is wearing. Stevie Aaron, our ring announcer, just did that for me, but Sabre Jr., so impressive. And of course, he was part of the Cruiserweight Classic over in WWE last year as well.
Yes, and before that, Zack Sabre spent loads of time with Pro Wrestling Noah, living in the Noah dojo. And anyone that follows Japanese wrestling, you'll know, you live in those dojos, you train pretty much 21 hours a day. You are just constantly immersed in wrestling. And while Zack has now expanded out into the U.S., Marty also has now gotten his name out there in the United States. But this is all about the English qualifiers, and here we go.
Sabre with the rear waist lock, and Scurll tries to lean that body weight on top to get the counter.
Both of these wrestlers are silky smooth, I like to say. But,
Sabre going to try and twist the neck there at Scurll.
A little modified gator roll there. The two roll through and exchange front chanceries. It's Scurll rolls through again, trying to maintain balance. And look at that. You don't normally see a wrestler get up before Zack Sabre. Back to the collar and elbow tie, back to the ropes now. I don't know if, look at that. I like what Marty's doing here. He's not giving Zack a chance to collect himself. Zack Sabre's a thinking man's wrestler, and Marty Scurll is just going about business.
Yeah, that's a product of the fact that Scurll knows Sabre Jr. so well. He knows if you give him an inch, he will take a mile, and that's why Scurll is giving him absolutely no room at all. We'd love to hear, by the way, what you think of this match and all of the tournament so far. If you want to get involved on social media, that hashtag again is Pro Wrestling World Cup.
These two circle. Scurll now encroaches. Closes the distance, full Nelson, locks the fingers, and right away Zack goes to the fingers, trying to escape. Now this is a very difficult hold to escape, but Zack made it look easy right there. The lanky limbs of Zack Sabre certainly come into play when trying to snake out of these holds.
Scurll, yeah, again, he's just being relentless. So that's the strategy he's clearly adopting against Sabre Jr. is to constantly just go back to the same holds again and again and wear him down.
We'll see what Zack's doing. He keeps trying to kick out Marty's leg. He's trying to create distance here. Zack does have a height advantage. Drop top there. Shoulders are down. Again, rolling through. You can see how Scurll repositions his feet now. That'll prevent Zack from rolling one way or another here. Instead, Zack just really no way out here for Sabre, Dave.
I think he's trying to maybe kick Marty in the chest, but in the end, Marty gave up. We're back to square one here.
And to you young wrestling fans, take notice. No hitting the ropes, no flipping and dipping. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but at the end of the day, it's still all about professional wrestling.
Sabre went for the wrist lock instead of snapmare. And Scurll again takes Sabre down.
Oh, and if you're a fan of the old world of sport wrestling, you're certainly enjoying this here.
I was going to say, Matt, sorry, Sabre Jr. is such a student of the game, not just of world of sport, but this is a guy who, when he was 10 and his friends were watching other stuff on TV, he was watching videotapes of old Japanese wrestling.
Now, right now, he's watching the wrist of Marty Scurll, staying locked in there. Wrist manipulation, joint manipulation. Scurll tries to alleviate the pressure with a lucha arm drag, but no. Zack Sabre controlling the joints, the elbow, the shoulder, the wrist, all the pivot points.
Scurll, of course, became the Ring of Honor TV champion just a few months ago, beating Will Ospreay, in fact, to win that honor.
Look at Scurll trying to alleviate the pressure on the wrist, and House finally.
Scurll.
Sportsmanship, why not?
That did not go entirely to plan for the villain.
Or maybe it did. No!
Sabre Jr. with a smile on his face. He knows Scurll so well. He's not at all taken by surprise that Scurll tried to take advantage of Sabre's kindness.
You know something? I don't know if Marty should get distracted here. You know, the graps were good up until the ha-ha came in, but okay, why not?
I think it was a pride thing for Marty Scurll.
All right, now that that's out of the way, let's get back to the wrestling. Collar and elbow tie-up, reversal, single leg pick, controlling the toe and ankle now. You can see the way Zack's leg is bending. That is not comfortable.
Sabre is trying to loosen that grip of Scurll.
Through into the headlock takeover. Oh, Scurll left an appendage out there, and Zack Sabre takes full advantage.
And that's where he's a master. If you leave anything hanging out that Sabre can grab, he will do it.
And you'll notice that Zack tried to step on Marty's other leg, and now Marty's going to use that leg, but Zack has it scouted, reverse into a surfboard.
Scurll with nowhere really to go except to try and flip over into the pin.
It's a one count, and I believe that's the first near fall of the match. Hang on, there's another one.
Maybe another, but
Well, now these two like two fish out of water here. Exchanging the one counts.
could go on all day between these two. Oh, Sabre with the bridge. Sabre! Two.
And that'll take a lot out of you cardiovascularly, as you can see. Zack Sabre taking a moment of reprieve here. And the folks certainly enjoying the wrestling. We hope you are too.
Must do something to your equilibrium as well, I would think. That's spinning.
Roman knuckle lock there. Sabre controls the neck of his opponent while maintaining wrist control. Now they lock up with both arms. Scurll looks to me to be stronger, although Zack has a height advantage.
We're seeing it here because Scurll, his test of strength, was taking advantage, but Sabre uses his right leg as leverage. Scurll using his neck to make sure his shoulders don't touch the mat. And this time Sabre's shoulders do go down, but only for one.
Credit the referee for being in the right position there.
Scurll using his body weight to try and force Sabre down again. Second time. It's a 2 count. Sabre getting tired.
Look at that. Nose to the mat. Great bridge. Counter. Up. Monkey flip. Both men back through.
And Sabre holds on throughout that whole sequence. He's still holding on.
My gosh, so much fun. Great wrestling on display.
Sabre with the body scissors, but Scurll threatening to maybe go for some strikes. Instead, he's going for another pin.
Look at the locking of the legs. Now Zack Sabre has the advantage because he has the mat against his back, and he can use that for leverage. Oh, hang on, we got a little bit of a lobster trap here. Oh boy.
And now, well, this one's been a little upside down between the two of them. And a handshake. There's a certain mutual respect between these two.
Well, there has to be. They know each other very well, and the stakes couldn't be higher here. Pro Wrestling World Cup 2017, 2 of England's finest.
Scurll out of Cambridge, Sabre out of Kent in the southeast. We're into the ropes here. Referee's going to ask for a clean break. I'm not sure that counts as a break because Marty went straight back in.
Dragon screw leg whip, keeping control of the leg. It's all about keeping control of your opponent. Arn Anderson was great at it. And now here we are in 2017 watching Marty Scurll and Zack Sabre Jr. put on an absolute clinic.
And Scurll is trying to grab the nose, I think. He's got his fingers in the nostrils of Sabre Jr. Now grabbing the arms. think he's maybe trying for another surfboard.
Zack was trying to lock his fingers there, and now instead, all 4 appendages controlled by Marty Scurll.
Scurll trying to rock backwards, get onto his back. Mexican surfboard on Zack Sabre Jr. Sabre tried to roll down. Scurll used the momentum to get him straight back up.
The referee is not counting Marty's shoulders because Marty is on the offense here, and that's the referee's discretion here. He has to look for the submission first.
Oh my, look at that. Into the Dragon Sleeper.
Yep. And Zack knew. And look at Zack from a defensive position, turns it into an offensive maneuver.
The angle, he twisted the wrist there. Sabre goes behind, uses the wrist to take Scurll down, and instantly that right knee goes onto the head.
And Zack Sabre clutching his hands behind his back, getting maximum torque on the arm. Now focuses back on the fingers and the wrist. And of course, amateur wrestling fans will know that manipulation of the fingers is ill-advised and also illegal.
But not in pro wrestling, and Zack Sabre Jr. is a master of joint manipulation into the Japanese stranglehold now.
A bit of a paradise lock, a sugar hold there. These two now exchange.
Scurll with the counter.
And Zack's height is the only thing that's saving Zack here in this one. As these two dance around, now back into the control is Marty Scurll.
And Sabre's got down to his knees.
And he's doing that to alleviate the pressure. Wiggling out now, step through. Why not?
Again holding on.
And now Zack brings Marty down, and while that will soften the pressure, we know that Zack definitely had a reason for it. And there it is.
Trying to get his knees into the back of Scurll.
And now the referee is now checking Zack's shoulders as well. There was no clear advantage there. Some good wrestling.
A great counter by Scurll to roll backwards. These two have been exchanging this hold for well over a minute now. And finally it gets broken. Scurll.
And, you know, I'm noticing, Dave, that Zack has been all business here up until right there. And it's Marty that's been showing a little bit of a cheeky side, if you will.
Well, that's the side we often see come out of Scurll. Sabre is the more workmanlike, I guess, the more, I wouldn't say professional, but the more kind of likely to focus on what he's doing at all times.
Whoop.
Scurll, I think, though, uses that kind of taunting, that cocky persona deliberately to try and get into the head of his opponent sometimes.
And you know, one of these two are going to advance to the next round, and neither one have really suffered any high-impact maneuvers. Remember, tournament wrestling here, but the wrists, the elbows, the shoulders, those can become inflamed during that downtime in the locker room, and that's something to keep an eye on whomever advances here.
Sabre with the Irish whip sends Scurll into the corner. Scurll uses that middle turnbuckle to bounce back.
Johnny Saint there for you.
Let's go with the leapfrog. Gave him a cat and mouse.
Baited him with the single leg. Schoolboy roll through. Zack too slick.
This is a privilege to watch. The quality of wrestling here between these two is phenomenal in the first round of the English qualifiers.
These two aren't just two of the best in England, two of the best in the world.
Scurll is trying not to get caught into this sunset flip.
Uh-oh. Zack Sabre's about to have his finger broken.
Oh my! I never get used to that.
Now here comes the chicken wing.
Crossface chicken wing, and if he locks those fingers, it's got to be over. It
Time
could be over.
Submission hold.
Oh, Sabre!
No, great counter!
And Sabre!
Lock him up! They
got him! No way out for Marty Scurll, and Zack Sabre Jr. advances. Sabre with an issue here that Scurll.
And some fans, myself included, are giving this match a standing ovation. Zack Sabre advances, but with a dislocated ring finger. How is that going to come into play?
And Sabre is livid at Scurll for snapping the fingers. Certainly not in the spirit of their friendship.
The winner of the match and advancing in the World Cup qualifier. qualifiers, Zack Sabre Jr.
Well, Sabre might be angry at Scurll, but ultimately he's going to not mind because it's his hand that got raised in the first round of the English qualifiers.